Hi, boys and girls. This week we've been discussing a lot about scientists. What makes a scientist? What do scientists do? What do scientists look like? Today, you and I are going to be drawing a picture about what a scientist looks like. So what do you think a scientist might look like? I know that scientists observe things, they watch things. So I thought today I might add a magnifying glass to my scientist picture. I know that they also take a lot of notes. They write down what they see. So I think I'm going to also give mine a pencil and a notebook. So I'm going to start drawing mine. And yours doesn't have to look like mine, because what you're going to find is scientists don't look like one thing. They don't look just alike like all of the other scientists. Just like we are, just like you are, and I am, we are different than anyone else in the world. So if we were to become scientists, we would look like ourselves. We wouldn't look like any particular one picture. But today we're going to practice drawing what we think a scientist look like. So my picture is going to look like what I think a scientist would look like, and I want you to do a picture yourself that shows what you think a scientist looks like. And at the bottom I want you to write your name, and then you'll take a picture of it in Seesaw and send it to us, okay? All right, I'm going to turn the camera around and we're going to get started drawing that scientist. Give Mr. B just a second to get his camera set up. He's having to use two. We're going to do that, and it's going to come into focus. All right, so I know that a scientist has a head, or at least I hope they have a head. So I'm going to start with drawing my head, and I'm going to draw it up here. I think I'll draw it like this. Okay, so that's the head of my scientist. And I'm going to draw a little bit down, give him a little neck. I'm going to call it a him because I'm a him. And I know that sometimes they wear white lab coats like a doctor might wear. So I'm going to go ahead and draw mine wearing a long white lab coat. Draw it back up. I'm going to come down on this side. Now, in case you didn't notice, Mr. B is not an art teacher, so his picture may not be quite as good as, let's say, Mr. Jackson might draw, but it doesn't matter because it's my scientist, and that's all that matters. In fact, I'm going to open this up a little bit. I think I made his arm thing there too small. So we're going to open it back up. And you know what? I made a mistake there, and it's okay to make mistakes. That's part of learning, actually. You learn the most when you're making the most mistakes. Just like that. I learned that was too long. So I'm going to put a little cuff on him, and I'm going to add one hand here with his thumb. I'm going to add another hand here. Okay. Now, I'm going to give him some eyes. Whoop. Give him a nose. I'm going to put him with a big smile on because he's really happy he gets to work with science. And I'm going to give him some curly hair. Even though Mr. B has very little hair, it doesn't mean a scientist can't have a whole lot of hair, right? So we're going to draw a little face on him there. I am going to add some buttons to this very long lab coat. Kind of looks like he's wearing a dress, doesn't it? Oh well, once again, I am not an artist, and that's okay. So, since his lab coat is so long, I'm going to give him what's going to look like short legs. But remember, he's got a long coat on, and I'm going to put him on some shoes. Doopy-doo. With some shoelaces. Okay, now in this hand, I'm going to draw him holding a magnifying glass so that he can observe what's going on around him. That's his magnifying glass. In this hand, I think I'm going to give him a notebook that he can write down all of his notes in. So I'll put some little squiggly lines there to show us that it's notebook paper. Now, I'm going to go back up here and change this arm again. You don't have to. to make yours perfect, but it's kind of bothering me, so I'm going to change it just like that. There we go. Okay, so I'm also going to give him a little pocket way up here because he's going to need a place to put his pens and pencils and markers. Okay, so that's my scientists. I've got to admit, it looks more like a lady wearing a dress, but that's okay. Scientists can sometimes be ladies wearing dresses. Anyone can be a scientist, and everyone can be a scientist. So I'm going to go back and color this a little bit. And at the bottom of my picture, I'm going to write very neatly my name, Mr. Brignac. And then I'm going to take a picture of that with my Seesaw app, and I'll send it to my teachers. Okay? So, boys and girls, that's the end of our What Does a Scientist Look Like? I want you to take your time with your pictures, give it some really good color, and add whatever tools you think a scientist might need. Don't forget to print your name nicely at the bottom. Take a picture of it through Seesaw, and then you can send it to your collegiate leaders. Thanks, boys and girls. Appreciate it. Bye.